about
The information provided by the speakers and presenters on the Anti-Hero broadcast platform is for general informational and entertainment purposes only. Information does not represent the broadcast network and all entities involved. All information is provided in good faith. However, we make no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information. Hurt feelings is not defamation.
JV team for life.
Good morning. It is the Anti-Hero broadcast brought to you on this lovely day of April 8th, 2026. The Anti-Hero broadcast is the news entertainment broadcast for veterans, first responders, and all blue-collar Americans. The show is, of course, brought to you by GhostBed. Go to ghostbed.com/Anti-Hero. Save 10% on the ridiculous low prices, pillowcases, mattress toppers, cooling patented technology sheets, and their award-winning mattresses, 60,000 plus 5-star rating and reviews, in-house customer service, and free shipping on those big-ass mattresses. So if you need to replace anything in the bedroom, go to ghostbed.com/Anti-Hero and save 10%. It'll tell them that we sent you. And of course, Elevated Silence. Go to elevatedsilence.com and use promo code Anti-Hero15 and save 15% on your can. Exercise your Second Amendment right. Get yourself a suppressor. They have everything from 22s to 50 cals. The process is not as difficult as you might think. And Jim, our good friend, will walk you through the entire process. Go to elevatedsilence.com, use promo code Anti-Hero15, save 15%. Beautiful.
beautiful.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Tyler. How are you?
Good. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously today would be a Friends Day, but, we're realizing that we're putting friends on all days. And so, ideally, yes, this will be the day if we can schedule something with someone. But, we've been having people on every day.
Yeah.
So,
And I think like we talked about, structure is important, but if we have a friend or a person that can only come on a Thursday or Friday, we're not gonna be like, sorry, dude, he can't come on the show. It's only Wednesday. So we have to be flexible.
yeah. And then we have like breaking news. Like if we wanted to wait, like tomorrow, we're covering the Australian soldier that's getting railroaded by the Australian government, but he's got a bail hearing today, and I don't want to do it today and then have more news tomorrow. So we're gonna cover that tomorrow. All jokes aside, he's not going anywhere. So unless he gets bail. So that's tomorrow. But then we were like, well, we got to cover Iran ceasefire. But if we had a guest today, we really can't cover Iran at all.
No.
And then just lots of topics. We have the New Jersey officer that just indicted. So today's gonna be a regular broadcast day, to be honest with you. So
Here we are.
So talking Iran first. Lots happened in the last 24 hours, but Trump announced it was funny because I was telling Heather, I was like, yo, be ready tonight. If there's anything happening before 11 p.m., I'm going to go to the studio. We're going to do an emergency broadcast. And she was like, yeah, I pretty much figured that. And then as I said that, Nick texted us and was like, yo, ceasefire per Trump. And then we went and checked it out. And sure as shit, it's just a different attitude. When you're looking at Trump now, you're looking at Iran. Everybody's like really thankful for each other.
He was going to obliterate their civilization 6 hours earlier. He was going to wipe them off the map. And then it's like, never mind. They're not so bad after all.
Yeah, they're not that bad.
And I know I saw Ja early in the chat and saying he caved. Ja's been pretty steady on that mindset from the beginning that Trump is bound down and caving. We mentioned that it maybe isn't going good yesterday or Tuesday. Was it Monday? And Nick came in screaming at us that it's going great. I saw a comment that said, leave it to G Money to be the only person in favor of the most unfavorable war so far. Like the only war that even MAGA people are like, I don't know about this one. And All American Nick was all about it. But
yeah, I mean, he's very, very insightful. G Money is obviously, having fun.
Yes.
Nick is a very, very good actor, essentially, and he's a retired cop, and we have a blast. But he believes, and and I see some people. We have a lot of Nicks, so we have Nick the Gun Guy. We've got Nick Prawl, and we've got Nick G Money. So when we're talking about Nick, we're talking about G Money. But I mean, at the end of the day, you take all the theatrics out of it, and he truly believes this. He's a red-blooded American. He's very knowledgeable too. We were kind of worried that, you know, through some of our correspondence and people leaving and people coming, we're like, man, I know I'm not the best versed in geopolitics or smart at all. So, and you guys point that out all the time, but we were sort of worried about, like, how are we going to cover the stuff? And Nick was like, I know this stuff, right? Nick was like a Fox News correspondent for a while. Like, Nick was part of the GOP. Like, he's very versed in politics, and he's also good on camera. So, it was obviously a natural fit.
Yeah, no, it's good. And like, it's some of this is entertainment, so you got to always factor that in. That if we all sat around going, "Yeah, America," the conversation is going to dive fast. Nick the Gun Guy, I will call you after the show. I promise. I was supposed to call him last night. He was smoking a brisket, and I completely forgot. So
I gotta call him too. Yeah. So,
yeah, but what do you think? So, what do you hear? We're both uneducated. We're a couple morons. We get shit on for being former cops that didn't put our time in and all that good stuff. Just like Nick.
Didn't do a full 20 years.
Didn't do a full 29, 30.
25?
I only did 23, man. I didn't fucking finish, dude. I'm a piece of shit.
Wow, what a shit
Nick
bag.
didn't finish. Yeah, none of these guys finished. So, but what does it look like for you? For as you've been seeing all this, we're gonna blow them up, we're gonna bomb them, we're gonna kill them, we're gonna ruin their civilization, all this, and then all of a sudden, 3 hours later, hey, we're all good. What do you think about that?
I've seen it firsthand. I mean, shit, we've done it. I mean, at the end of the day, you business is business, dude. And sometimes when you extend an olive branch and then talks can start happening, you're like, okay, like maybe we don't need to be this aggressive. But I guess it's important for opposing people to see that you can be that aggressive. And so I think a lot of us, I mean, Nick brought up a good point too. Like, I got to send Nick a fucking invite too, by the way. But he brought up a good point. He's like,
you talk, I'll do it. You talk.
All right.
You're talking.
He brought up a good point that it's the pussification of America. Like, now we've fucked ourselves so hard on all these stupid wars we shouldn't have been in, that Nick's argument is that this is a justified war and nobody's behind it because we're too scared to act, like, instead of react.
Yes. I was having that conversation last night with Jojo, and I'm like, everybody forgets all, we put the numbers up on one episode, all the Americans Iran is responsible for. But once you put a gap between, like, recency, we have a tendency as society, like 9/11. We all forgot about that, right? We elected a Muslim in New York. Like, we forgot all that stuff.
Yep.
So we forget all that stuff that happened, and it becomes unpopular because you can't go, well, I did it because that. Like, that right there, that happened last week. That's why I'm mad at this person. You got to go back and see the history, and then is it good for the world to have this crazy lunatic regime? I don't know if anybody's been paying attention. They're hanging, like, weekly, like, young, amazing athletes from Iran. They're getting them on some bogus war crime or anti-government bullshit where they were, like, out in the protest. Like, they've hung a great musician. They hung a young kid that was, like, going to be an Olympic wrestler, publicly hung them in a bogus, like, made up trial for, going against the government. And they're, of course, they're not just hanging regular people. They do,
Yeah,
but they're making a spectacle out of these, like, young, I'm talking, like, really good musician, really good athlete, just killing them in public because they were outside during a protest.
And in these talks, I mean, is it going to be a regime changeover? Because right now, these talks for no violence are just about the Strait of Hormuz. They're not really. Correct me if I'm wrong. The last transmissions that have been put out publicly by each government are that this is solely a 2-week ceasefire that I saw somebody said Iran already violated. I'm not sure about that, but they're not even talking about the regime change, the full surrender, because obviously, at the end of the day, we are a beacon of light, freedom, Christianity, like, not evil. Now, I know we have some evil deep state stuff going on in our own government that we're handling as a country ourselves. I think we're doing a very good job as a population, as podcasts, and But at the end of the day, America is a beacon for hope and freedom. And we show the world what it's like. And then do we sit back and allow people to be hung for essentially acknowledging Western culture, acknowledging freedom of religion, acknowledging that oppression is bad? You know, do we go in there and say, you guys can't do this, there's a regime change? I know it's like force. You have to sometimes, like, hey, I don't want to use force, but we might have to. And nobody in America wants that. We all want us. We don't want this war with Iran, but then America's founded on being the beacon of light.
Yeah. And
So,
you know, we can't police everybody, because my algorithm goes crazy sometimes. I saw in Africa, some of the governments are like, it's terrible, dude. I watched a video, they like murdered a mother's children in front of her because she's a Christian. Like, just brutal. They didn't show the murder, but they showed her watching her kids. Can we go to every country and police? Because that's horrible. No. But kind of like policing.
They filmed her watching her kids be murdered?
Yep. It was like one of those ones I wish I never saw, and I did see it. Like a lady on her knees, like standing around with like people around her, and they're killing her fucking 2 children, and they're filming her, watching her kids get killed for no more than being a Christian.
Just pure evil, dude.
Yeah, it's evil, but we can't do everything. So you already have an evil regime. And where I equate this to like police work is, you know, you'll get a lot of rich people say, well, I don't ever see a cop car in my neighborhood. You know, you really don't need to come over there. Like, there's no reason to. Like, you're pretty safe. You're behind like 9 gates and a security guard company and all
also,
that.
You've got a lot of money.
Yes, so we're not going to, but where does more resources go? Where the crime is. So we're already at a place where there's war crime or crime. So it's like, now they're doing this stuff. They're hanging people. We're already here. Let's try to fix all that. Instead of like, let's just go into Africa and start a fight and, you know, let's do that. Let's go here and do that. Yeah. We're already there. Just like when you patrol a shitty neighborhood, you're already there and you see a traffic violation. Well, it's probably going to be something bad here. Let me go stop this. I don't care what you say. It's not, you can spin it every you want. You're not going to find crime in a gated community where every house is $1 million, unless it's blue collar crime, and you really can't find that proactively driving through the neighborhood. You're going to have like.
But the rich neighborhoods are able to pay for security, gates, like. So when we go, you know, like Europe's falling apart at their own accord. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck about Europe. I don't. They've never been based on real freedom at all. I do care for them, but I don't. They're not being slaughtered. Like you're saying, like if we were going to focus our resources anywhere in the world, Europe for me, it would not be one of them. No. England, you know, all that.
They got their own. They made their bed. They have the resources to stop it. France. They choose not to.
Yeah. So, you know, yeah, I would be. But here's the thing: why, you know, if you explained as the president of the United States, I am sending special operations, and some conventional units to Africa to stop this Neanderthal evil behavior, and you showed that clip of that woman, which you can't show on mainstream media. I get that, but I think a lot of the people would be like, okay, like I don't want to be in foreign wars, but this can't go on. Like I can't sleep at night knowing that this is going on, but I'm safe here in America.
I saw that like 4 days ago, and I can't stop thinking. I'm like, there's just a horror, the terror of like. It reminds me of like Walking Dead. We always talk about Walking Dead when like Negan came along and started killing people, in making a point. It's the same feeling I got. That was obviously a show, but it still hit home. It was very realistic. Then to see it in the real world and think, imagine you just want to live life, have your children, and the government comes and kills your children in front of you because you believe a different religion. Like
real oppression right there.
That's crazy work. But then here in this country, everybody's oppressed that's getting benefits and free housing, and you know they're struggling, man. It's horrible. Yeah, they get all that free money.
Yeah. So going back, I mean, so at the end of the day, Iran is, we're not seeing we lost the focus on regime change within like a couple days, and now we're just focusing on the Strait of Hormuz. How do you say it?
Hormuz. Yeah, that's where the money's at, dude. They got to get the oil out of the region to pay bills. So it kind of goes along with what I was trying to say the other day, that I watched the reel for like 5 minutes where somebody explained this, and it's going in that order, where Trump ends up being like the man because he's able to get all the oil back here and then use it to like reduce our debt because we got control of it all. I'm not saying he's going to pull it off, but it's kind of going the way this guy said. Very amateur dude just ranting on the internet, but it all looks pretty in line. Like if he can get that oil and bring the gas prices back down and all that stuff, everybody's going to go, wait a second. My gas is $2 a gallon. That was a great war. Like, right? Do we really care about dead people in America? Do we care that people are dying and bombs are going off? Because everybody's, oh, the school children. Let Seattle get gas or California get gas cut in half. And we're like, boy, this is great. This gas tank's cheap to fill up now. Like everybody, they're going to forget all that stuff happens. Like keep the same. I always say keep the same energy. You're mad about it when gas is $6 a gallon. You better still be mad at it if gas goes down to $2 a gallon. Don't change your mind and go, well, yeah, you're right. It was just a good idea because why? You're saving money. But like,
yep, that's the American in everybody.
Yes, yeah. It doesn't bother. It doesn't affect me. I don't see it. And oh my God, I'm saving money. Great. Like that's it.
Somebody said in a comment, Yuma Drew, I'm keeping score correctly. Before the war, Iran had 1,000 pounds of uranium and the Strait of Hormuz was open. Hormuz. Now Iran has 1,000 pounds of uranium in the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah. I'm assuming he meant close.
That was our reason for going there, right? There's my dog's barking. That was our reason for going there, right?
Except the strait's closed.
Yeah, we're losing money. So now we're back to making money. If we can make money on oil, like that was one of the arguments was we didn't do anything we said we were going to do. And then they said the restrictions on nukes was like ignored. Like, okay, we're not going to regulate. We're not going to make sure you're not doing anything. We just want the strait open. So then they get the strait open. I mean, dude, Trump was off the rail. I don't care what anybody says. Like him. I don't dislike him. I like him, but he was pretty Vince McMahon WWE like off the rails with those tweets, dude. Like literally, I'm gonna obliterate your civilization. I'm gonna destroy you. I get it. I get it.
And now, but we're falling in the same trap. Well, now I don't like it. Now I don't like it because I want something to bitch about because I'm an American.
Home. She doesn't want to hear me talk, so she shut the door.
You know, I'm an American, and I want like something to complain about. You know.
Well, they're always going to want something to complain about, but
at least Nick's keeping that Money's keeping that energy up.
Yeah, I mean, I support the president. I'm not saying I don't support him, but I want to see that. I would love to see gas come all the way down because now it's always we put the Biden stickers on. I did that. Now there's some people are putting Jewish related stickers on there now with the high prices or Trump, like you voted for this. Let gas come all the way down. Let's see if it happens, and then see what everybody says then. Was it worth it? Was it a good deal? We'll see.
Yeah, I tried finding. First off, let me show you something.
Let me show you something.
Is it x.com? Please don't be porn. Please don't be porn. Okay. Yes. And I'm logged in. Awesome. All right. So if you go to Trump, Donald J. Trump, 11.2 million followers. So now I'm going to bring you guys with me on this journey to looking at Trump's tweet or Twitter or Instagram. So here we are. Donald J. Trump. Pinned. Obviously a pinned post. Cool. February 28th was his last post.
You got to get on Truth Social. That's where he goes more.
Okay, so he's not on. Why isn't he posting on X? Because all these screenshots.
Him and Elon Musk had all that, So Trump is bigger on
the White House.
Truth. He's bigger on Truth Social.
What the fuck is Truth Social?
His own here. Want me to bring it up? It's his own network. I'll bring it up.
The White House posts pretty hourly, but again, we have determined. Okay, so the United States will work closely with Iran, which we have determined has gone through what will be a very productive regime change. There will be no enrichment of uranium, and the United States will, working with Iran, dig up and remove all deeply buried B-2 bombers' nuclear dust. It is now and has been under very exacting satellite surveillance, Space Force. Nothing has been touched from the dark attack. We are and will be taking tariff and sanctions relief with Iran. Many of the 15 points have already been agreed to. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So that was 3 hours ago.
Yeah. Then he had more to say. I don't know if he put it on there.
No.
3 hours ago on Truth. 3 hours ago on Truth Social, he also wrote, a country supplying military weapons to Iran will be immediately tariffed on any and all goods sold to the United States of America, 50% effective immediately. There will be no exclusions or exemptions, President Trump. So he's doubling down on you cooperate with Iran, we're tariffing you 50%.
Yeah, I mean, here's okay. So propaganda and media are huge in anything you do, right? We've seen that. We've seen people tell us one thing and then turn around and get on camera and say an exact other thing. And we're like, what the fuck are they doing? Are they mentally ill? You know? So I get it. It's to some extent, you know, I had to talk with Mike. Like, yeah, man, all I want to do is be a fucking broadcast for 2 hours a day we just entertain the shit out of people. I want a fun environment. We can cover news, topics, trends. We can cover drama, but at the end of the day, I don't want to really be affiliated with anybody. I want us to be our own thing. And, you know, we keep getting, you know, we'll catch a stray here and there. And it's like, do we address it? That's the biggest thing is, do you address it? And so like Trump right now is like, you know, going back and forth in his fucking tweets, which made you say the other day, is it possible he might start having dementia?
Yeah.
And nobody wants to go like, Mr. President.
He started cussing a lot. He started he swore all the time, but it seemed to get a little excessive. You know, when like a guy, you know, you got to cuss when you work as a cop. You got to use the F word here, there. But when you do it a little too much, you look at the guy, you're like, bro, did you not have coffee this morning? Like, you cussed a lot. Like, all of a sudden, he just starts swearing all the time, which I don't have a problem with it, but it seemed more than normal. Like, you're losing an argument, so you start using cuss words to like make it sound worse.
Emotional.
Yeah, it's like, So that's where I was like, he's acting a little different. We got a super chat there, just $2 from Rubble Madeable. Rubber Made. Yeah, Rubber Madeable. Thank you very much.
I'm assuming you went to type something. I do that all the time. I go to super chat and I just donate money because I forget to fucking put the message in there. So if you write anything, Black Hammer. I don't know where.
KY. Not KY Jelly, probably Kentucky, but go ahead.
Well, that's where my mind went. Black Hammer, KY. No.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm
Day one listener, new to the live, supporting for the Bluegrass State. Hell yeah. Also, what's the Bluegrass State? Is that Virginia?
Kentucky.
Is it Kentucky?
Pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. You can't make me sound like an idiot.
Kentucky.
We don't know.
Can somebody tell Tyler what the Bluegrass State is?
The Bluegrass
Kentucky.
State.
All right. He's from Kentucky. I'm just gonna go with it.
He might have put KY. These guys have crazy screen names.
I get a lot of questions right on Jeopardy for no reason other than like my process of elimination goes quick, and I'm like KY, probably not KY. Then he says Bluegrass State. He's got KY in his, like that all goes through my head pretty quick. $2 from Rubbermaid. Don't forget Rubbermaid there. He gave us another $2 and said oil prices down, gas prices keep rising. Yeah, the price of oil did dive, I believe. The barrels went down.
You're going to lose me talking about that. So go ahead, Mike, if you can explain how the fucking conundrum goes. How does that work? Oil prices went down, gas prices.
Well, they're still. Well, here's why. It's got to catch up. So crude oil is down to 72.23. It's got to have time to balance itself out. Obviously the oil was short. Prices go up. They got to make sure it's like fucking interest rates. It's all scam. Let me just start with that. It's all scam. There's a certain group of people I think behind all of it. But interest rates go up, gas prices go. It takes time to recorrect itself. Look how long our mortgage rate's been insane. These motherfuckers don't have enough money yet. Chase doesn't have enough money yet at fucking 7% mortgage rates for 6% mortgage. Like they don't have enough money yet to bring them down.
Do you remember when Tucker Carlson suggested? I don't really know if he's like really meant it, but he said he was doing like a TED talk or some interview with a big crowd, and he said, I don't like change. I hate change. But he's like, at some point, what if the entire world got together or the entire country and said, let's not pay our credit card debt? If everybody did it, it would force the banks to lower the APR. You can't have everyone in the world not pay their credit card debt. And the same with mortgages. If everyone got together and did it, they would have to lower it. They'd have to.
Well, if you remember, maybe Nick can help us out here. His great president promised back in January a 10% cap on credit cards. Still ain't seen it. Still ain't seen it.
He did.
Yeah, right here. CBS News back in January 21st.
Can you share it for all of us?
President Trump. Yeah, I will. Look. This is black and white too.
If he's wrong, he doesn't want you to be able to see it. He's just gonna read stuff.
No. I'm always right. That's my wife. Right here. Boom. This is back in January, and I closed it. What a fucking moron. Hold on.
Idiot.
Everybody
make fun of Mike now in the comments. Leave me alone.
Yeah, please make fun of me. I can handle it.
Lewis ain't here. It's a Wednesday.
Do you know who I live with? I can handle all the smoke. All right. Try this again. All right. So there we go. January 20th set a deadline, January 20th of this year, for credit card companies to lower their interest rates to 10% for 1 year. Now that date has arrived, most banks and card issuers have largely kept their rates unchanged while also pushing back against the idea. Trump announced the cap on January 9th, giving banks and issuers 11 days. Well, we are past January 20th. We are April 8th today. And my credit card rates are not locked at 10%. I can tell you that. So
that just seems like that's something that would take forever.
No, it's a fucking wave of a pen.
Executive order for that.
No, but I don't know what he was planning was, but you're supposed to say all the banks. So you're talking most credit cards. If you're not excellent credit, you're looking at 25 to 30% interest. That's a significant, obviously, savings for people. So we're talking about money and economy and savings. Imagine if your minimum payment goes down a third or 2/3. You're supposed to be paying 30%. You're only paying 10%. That gives you time to buy the Staccato, buy your fucking truck, jack your fucking truck up, put the rims on it, get more debt, but at least the interest rate is lower on the new debt.
Yeah.
But he promised that. He said he was going to do that. You can make the argument. I could put my blue hair on and say, he just got us in another war, and now we're even more broke because our gas prices are high, and now I can't afford gas, and my credit cards are still up. This man promised me. Where's the fucking show me the money, dog? Show me the money. Where's the interest rates? They're still way high. That would be it. Imagine that. We talked about, we had American Financial that became a great partner of ours. We that help with debt. They do a great program. They're great people. Imagine if you had that option with a much lower interest rate on the rest of your stuff. Like, hey, I'm going to put 30 grand. I'm going to get this debt paid down. I still got another credit card or two I didn't want to include. Now the interest rate is 2/3 less than what it was last month. That's a significant savings for families.
Yeah. The hard part is not going back to credit cards. And there was a post from one of the guys from the Daily Wire today I saw. I think it was in Heather's stories, but he was like, he listed all the problems that we have. And he's like, Iran should be last. And one of them was, families can't fucking survive, dude. Like, you take our dollar to some of the most beautiful countries out there. They don't want you to know that you could live beachside like a king in other countries with amazing food. They don't want you to know that.
I know. If my algorithm on my personal page is nothing but that, you can go to all of South Asia, beautiful places where they'll interview locals and say, what is rich in this country? US dollars. $3,000 a month is rich, not kind of rich. Beautiful beachfront condos with gyms and every amenity in the world. You can live like a fucking king at $3,000 a month.
And
they don't want you to know that.
Here,
they don't want you to know that.
In the greatest country in the world. That's why it's so important for them to make sure we're proud, because the American in me would never do that. But, we can barely fucking survive. Like, to do anything. In 1 week, I had my truck, fucking everything broke on my truck. It was $3,000 to fix that, and all the brakes and rotors were all fucked up. So it was time. $3,000 on the truck, and then of course that same week the fucking irrigation system in my front yard broke. Right, that was $600 or $700. Right then and there, boom. No one's got. I'm telling you, I ain't rich, dude. I ain't got $4,000 just sitting around. We have money allotted. We have savings, but Heather does not allow our savings to go beyond a threshold. Sometimes I don't understand what the threshold is, because I'm like, wouldn't this be what we have savings for? But no. And so, that's what you have to fucking put That's
But
what credit
why,
cards are for. It's okay.
why do we stay? Why do we stay? Think about this. Okay, so if 30 years ago there was no internet, right?
Oh, we have Nick in here, by the way. Do you want to bring Nick up?
I don't know who started interrupting us. Won't he? He'll be mad. What we said. Let
All
me
right.
finish this thought and
We're
we'll bring him in. Like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, all the scams. You remember Wolf of Wall Street? They were lying to people about, investing. If somebody came to you then without be able to show you, like, you can live in the Philippines or you can live in Vietnam or you can live in one of these countries like a king, you'd be like, you can see it now. I don't understand why more people don't take advantage of that. I don't know that we're conditioned to just go, I'm going to suffer, I'm going to stay, but you could literally, you don't need a fucking truck. You would never need another truck. You could literally sit on the beach all day in one of those countries at what you
food,
make, all your
work
food
out in the gym that you live at.
$3,000, dude. You're fucking set the rest of your life. You're rich. You're rich. Imagine having 5, 8, 10 grand, dude. So
the only place I go is to get food. I live 5 minutes from the studio, which you could build your own studio, and I have a home gym. I never fucking leave my house.
You, dude. I follow it. It's my algorithm on my personal page is nothing but Asia deals on houses and beachfront resorts, and it is fucking cheap. The flight there is the most money you're going to spend is to get there. The second you pull in, you are a fucking millionaire, dude. A millionaire. If you make what I make in retirement, you're a millionaire. So here we are, though.
I want Nick right now to talk us into why, as Americans, we should still stay proud in our country.
Please,
even though
I'm going to leave. Me and Tyler are leaving for fucking Philippines after the show. Nick, keep us in America.
What the fuck do you mean? I have to convince you why you should be proud to be an American. What is
Not
wrong
being
with
American? Tell me why I should stay in America.
Dude, this is still the greatest country on earth. People that fucking hate this country refuse to leave. Right? Right? The entire world wants to come to America. I don't care. All these fucking Europeans and South Americans and Asians can talk shit about Americans and how fucking bad they hate the country, and they can tell who the U.S. tourists are. They all want to fucking live here. They all want to come here. They all want to fucking be us. We're the best country in the world, dude. Even with all our flaws and our problems, still the greatest country. We have a lot of shit that we need to work out right now, like communism and the blue-haired cult, but this is still the best country in the world. This is the only spot in the world where there's no real class system. Now, that might piss some people off. Yes, there's uber rich, and there's fucking poor people, and there's a war in the middle class, but we can do something to fight against that. People who are poor can become rich. You can change your class, and it can go both ways. This is the only country in the world you can really change your class. You can't do that anywhere else. It's not going to happen.
I agree with that.
But what do you think about Americans that are working hard and can barely pay the bills, let alone save, let alone retire, let alone get out of debt? I mean, we're all middle class dudes. We're all dealing with that. What do you say about that?
It's your own personal growth, dude. I'm broke right now for my own fucking fault. I went and fucking got loose, did some shit I shouldn't fucking had, and I'm fucking paying the piper for it right now. It's my own fault. But if you work hard, you do what you need to do, you can pull yourself out and live a comfortable life. You can't do that anywhere else. The entire fucking world is going through being broke and fucking can't afford living or housing. Go look at how a lot of these people fucking live. I believe fucking just the medium, like if you're making $30,000 or $40,000, like you're top 1% of the world. Where else does that happen?
Except here, you're fucking broke.
Yeah, you're fucking nothing, man. Here, you're EBT.
Go do something about it.
Rent is $2,000 a month now, man.
Go do something about it.
It's higher than my mortgage. My mortgage is cheaper than most people's rent.
That's what we're talking about, Nick. You know, people, high up people like all these. Tucker Carlson is saying if the entire world got together or the entire country got together.
Fuck that trading pussy, dude. That dude's off his fucking rocker. Fuck him.
What do we do about it?
What do you do? First off, I mean, dude, do you want to talk about this for an hour? I mean, that's not like a 30-second quip to talk about what we can do about it.
Nick
there's so many different variables.
Give me the AI like 3-paragraph fucking synopsis.
All right. So what do we do about what? The rent being too fucking high, like that politician?
Yeah, rent, APR,
the rent is
everything.
too damn high. Have you ever seen that black guy that ran on that?
I know people are going to be like, oh, you're a fucking dick rider, dude. You're fucking, I don't know what the fucking kid's glazing. I'm glazing Trump. Didn't
There you
Trump
go.
just fucking do something to where he stopped corporate America from being able to purchase single homes? That is one of the main factors in our rent being too high. All these corporate businesses like BlackRock, like Vanguard, they're buying fucking single dwelling homes for the middle class, and they're getting rid of fucking private ownership. This has been the game plan for a long time. They speak openly about it at Davos and the World Forum. You know, and Trump did something about it. He stopped fucking corporations being able to buy single dwelling homes.
How do you do that? Executive order?
I'm not sure exactly. I can give you,
But
know,
he
if I look
did.
into it. Yes,
He did. He did stop it. Didn't propose it. He actually put a stop to it.
I believe it might be an executive order. I don't know that much about it. I can look into it and give you a better answer. I'm not going to bullshit.
What about Trump saying that he was going to lower all 10, the all credit cards APR to 10% for now, for a short period of time to let people catch up?
That's a great plan. I mean, that's part of. A very terrible man got rid of interest at one time. That terrible guy did a lot of good things for the infrastructure of his country before he went fucking crazy. But interest is a fucking. There's people that are preying on the poor and preying on people trying to pull themselves out, and it's predatory, and it's a good move. I don't think there should be a cap on interest. And at the same time, again, I'm kind of conflicted because this is a great country, and you should be able to make up your fucking mind if you want to make up your mind. If I want to go be able to take a loan at 30%, I should fucking be able to do that. But there's a lot.
I
more
agree with that.
You know what I
agree
mean?
with that. A lot of people say it's like people being taken advantage of. Like, hey, our system and our society is going to put you in a bind, in a position that you can't get out of unless you take this. But this costs way more, and they can never get out of it. And that's where I am conflicted, because would you rather live a life where you have no options, or would you rather take what options you have? And it's your choice if you want to take a credit card out for 30% APR, because I do believe if done right, you can get yourself out with a credit card, but it has to be done right. I don't believe a lot of Americans have that. I don't have that discipline to get themselves out of it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I had a credit card when I was young. I can't even tell you what I fucking first purchased with my credit card. Maybe offline, I'll tell you. But it won't be on air.
A 3-hour massage.
Close.
Damn, my man put cat on the credit card, man. Jesus. Did you use the cheeks to swipe it? Was it like a
fucking right, dude? Bend over.
ATM.
I got this plastic card burning a hole in my wallet.
Take it. Oh boy.
Yeah, man. Listen, dude. There's fucking, like, I think Josh said something about the troops that we had injured.
Right here. Hold on. I'll pull it up right here. Nick, what about the soldiers killed and all the equipment and aircraft we lost just for things to be worse than when we started the war?
I don't think things are worse. Gas prices are going to go down. We're not relying on the oil from the Middle East. The world is. Unfortunately, prices are determined on a worldwide scale. Even though we're not part or getting our oil from that area or region, it still affects gas prices around the globe. It'll go back down again. I mean, there's no reason why it should be that way, but that's the way the economics and the currency of the oil works. You know, it's very it's hard to get into and explain, but it's affected globally. We're in a much better position than we are right now. Iran's been killing Americans for 47 years, right? Israel was going to strike Iran. If we didn't do anything, Iran would have attacked our bases. We would have lost a lot more equipment and a lot more men sitting by. Unfortunately, it's like shit rolling downhill. There's always a cause and an effect. The cause would have been Israel striking Iran without us involved, and the effect afterwards would have been us getting caught with our pants down. A lot more soldiers, a lot more people would have been hurt if we didn't get involved and do what we did. I just don't understand the thinking when it comes to this country. I know a lot has to do with TDS. A lot of people rode with Trump. No new wars. This wasn't Trump's war. This was fucking Obama and Biden's war that he's cleaning the fuck up. They have been a thorn in our side for a long time. Presidents haven't had the balls to do what Trump just did. I don't agree with everything. I shouldn't have to give that caveat either, but that's the world we are today. If I say positive things about Trump, I'm a fucking glazer and I'm a dick rider and all this fucking shit, and people hate my guts because trust me, dude. People like that, they snap. It's fucking wild, dude. But there's shit that I don't agree with him. And look at RFK Jr. said, I don't think there's been a president, possibly in the history of our country, that understands the dynamic of the office and how to yield that power, especially in negotiations. Say what you want about him, but he knows what he's doing. And there's so many different nuances and factors that went into this Iranian war, from England, which I mentioned prior, right, to other countries being involved, alliances, NATO. There's so much shit in play that people aren't looking at. It partly has to do, I was talking to someone about it last night. They said we're programmed to think that way. I always like to say one level thinking, like an onion. There's many layers to peel back, and people don't get past the fucking first layer. A lot of times because they're lazy. They like to get their information through headlines and fucking memes or what other people put up on Facebook and do no research on their own, which there's a reason why that was vilified during COVID. Do you understand now? That was what doing your own research was a sign of being right wing, a white supremacy. If you do your own research, educate yourself was a term that was supposed to be associated with the right. And again, white supremacy, because they don't want you to find out what the fuck is really going on. There's a lot of things that you can do yourself, and a lot of outlets and places where you can really do your own research. It's not saying you're not stupid. People aren't fucking dumb. But if you allow yourself to be fed and treated like a mushroom, you'll be fucking kept in the dark and fed shit your entire life.
And that's what I'd say. I had a conversation. Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead.
I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and it was about that. And it was about, at some point, you cannot be a fucking doormat your entire life, or you're going to end up in the breadline in a communist state, or you're going to take what's given to you and you're going to say, yes, can I please have some more? Right? At some point, someone pushes you, or you can see, I'm about to get fucking railroaded right now, and I'm not going to take the stand. I'm going to take a stand. I'm not going to be passive about it.
It got so bad during COVID, you couldn't suggest that China started the virus. You were fucking labeled like a racist for saying, during my TikTok garbage, one of the main things, one of the reporters pointed out that I said that COVID was a Chinese virus. They tried to create that app. Yeah, I swear to God, of all the dumb shit I did. And he said China, like, because Trump was saying it. But if you just think about that social experiment, and I still believe it wholeheartedly, that was a social experiment to see how far they could push the fucking envelope. If you suggested that the disease came from China, it was like, oh my God, he's a racist. You can't say that. It all pointed there, just like the Hunter Biden fucking laptop. All this shit ended up being true, but they tried to condition us so hard to control us so much that the word China, if you suggested that the disease came from China, you were a fucking racist. That's how crazy shit got during that fucking mess.
Yeah, and now racism has been so watered down, it doesn't mean what it means anymore.
No,
like that was their go-to. Oh, you're a racist, and people would back up and be scared, and they wouldn't want to be canceled. And it just doesn't have that effect anymore. I think we're fucking tired of it. Tired of hearing I'm a racist because I'm white. I want to do my own research, come up with my own fucking opinions about something.
I'm gonna it's the girls podcast is dropping a rather dicey reel this afternoon that someone just made. And it's definitely not out of context, but but going to that, and it's going to piss a lot of people off. But at what point, kind of just taking a little segue, and we'll go back to it. But at what point can white people be the laughing stock, or of the entire nation? Right? Like we got the Drewski thing, right? It's fucking hilarious. The Erica Kirk thing was fucking hilarious.
It was funny, dude.
But God for fucking bid, you make a black person joke.
I think it's getting okay. I watched a white comedian fucking.
Well, see, Jake Paul just dressed up as Drewski, blackface.
Yeah, I saw a dude. There's an Asian dude we follow. I know you follow him as well, Tyler. That does some pretty funny skits. And then I saw a white guy. I have to get it out. He was cooking on stage, and it was as joke as it could get. It was pretty fucking bad. I think if you're still in a uniform, you're done. Or if you're in any position of power, you're done. But I think generally in the comedy world, it's becoming okay. My opinion.
Yeah, man. We gotta thank Joe Rogan for that one. For real. Yeah. I don't think he's much of a comedian. I don't think he's that funny, but him and his good.
I just think that I like falling under comedy. I like being a comedy. I like being very comedy because at the end of the day, we say what we want, as long as we don't get fucking canceled, like physically canceled. Like I know they can't cancel us, like morally or ethically, but as long as they don't like fucking turn our channel off, we're good all day, because they could be like, "Did you hear what they said on the Anti-Hero broadcast?" And everyone's gonna be like,
I wanted to dress
"It's
up
the
as
Anti-Hero
Drewski.
broadcast." Of course, they said that.
I'd fucking dress up and put blackface on as Drewski right now. Fuck it.
So we're not there, Mike. We're not there yet.
I didn't see it. Who did it?
Jake Paul.
He did.
He did. Well, I didn't know if it was AI. Is it real?
Nah, he's really doing it.
He did a skit.
Well, there was a whole movie called White Chicks where two black dudes dressed up as white chicks.
Like
that was like
the
20
standard.
fucking years ago.
Double standard. You had fucking Jimmy Kimmel in complete black everything. You know, as I forget who's a basketball player who's imitating. You know, Justin Trudeau. It's different strokes for different folks. If you're a lib, you can get away with it. Tropic Thunder. Yeah. You know, it's fucking bullshit, dude. But I don't know. September 12th. The pendulum swung so far to the right. People love cops again. Patriotism was through the roof. You could feel the love for this country, and it didn't last long. It really didn't. It'd be nice to get back to it, because there was a time where, you know, everyone started getting along. And at the same time, you know, I was up in Brooklyn. I walked into a bar, and there's white, black, Asians all intermingled with each other, having a good time, laughing, and it was like, see, this is what the fucking media don't show you. A lot of it's orchestrated. There's not that much racist shit going on. There's a lot of people getting along, but you won't see it, and they don't want you to believe it. And then they love to portray the black community as just a bunch of savages from the fucking ghetto that are just fucking out of control. They don't show you the good stuff. This is the narrative that they're trying to create. They're trying to create that division. Same time, all they're showing you is the white people are fucking racist. Look at them. They hate fucking black people. So this is their fucking plan, dude. It's no longer conspiracy. There's plenty of evidence out there showing that this is what the people in the fucking ivory towers are doing to us. It's easier to divide and conquer. But if you go out in the real world, it's not like that. People are getting along.
No.
Well,
I have interactions every fucking day.
Well,
dude.
that's where I blame
Not
both
that
sides.
bad.
That's where I blame both sides. The old usual suspect goes both ways. If it's a school shooting or some type of child case, it's always a white guy, the usual suspect.
No, it ain't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying they usually go usual suspect, and then if it's something violent, you know, the blacks are labeled usual suspect. But what you don't see is normally it's good, but both sides are guilty of that. You know.
Do you guys remember this? Nick,
Yeah.
I want to watch this and then.
Yeah, this is old, man.
When I came to the United States, I was fundamentally, culturally, and psychologically.
No.
When I came to the United
Ideological subversion is the slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. This is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. Ideological subversion.
So that right there goes to kind of show that all they got to do is pit us against each other. And you know, now like, oh, that's racist, you're a racist, everything's racist, everything's homophobic, let's force people to think that fucking men and women's bathrooms is okay and you're a bad guy. Let's villainize people for questioning the biggest hoax ever fucking. And then when people started questioning it, they were some people were fucking killed. Scientists were killed during COVID. Like, that's already happening.
Yeah, look, man, I'm not the fucking brightest guy in the world, but I remember I called up. I was on Crystal Gall's radio show, pretty new into the COVID. I remember
Scratching
looking
your
at
nuts.
scratching my fucking swishy pants, dude. I'm going to the titty bar after this.
All right.
So I remember just
We got
doing my
one guy that eats
extrapolating the
cheeseburgers,
data.
one guy scratches his nuts uncontrollably. Fucking pick your poison.
That's what happens, dude, when you got a big package. You have to adjust a lot. Yeah, I just call it how it is, man.
Go ahead.
What are you saying, Nick?
Go ahead.
I don't know. As I was fucking rudely interrupted, kicked my piss bottle over. My bad. So I remember looking at the data. South Korea has a similar healthcare as we do. And I remember running the numbers because I'm not that fucking bright, but I was able to fucking look at the formula. And I came up with like it was like 99 point fucking like 6-8% not deadly. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what the numbers came out to be. But they were acting like, that the world was going to end. And, for the most part, if you really look at it, everyone that they incubated, they fucking murdered. They should never have incubated people. They're the ones that fucking killed them. Fauci's telling you that smokers were at the highest risk people, besides the ones with, one or more comorbidities, which was bullshit. That the receptor that COVID binds to will not bind to that receptor if you're a nicotine user. So believe it or not, smokers and nicotine users were one of the, besides healthy individuals, were the most safe during COVID. They flat out, and they knew that, and they flat out lied to you and told you that fucking smokers were the risk. They weren't. If you're doing nicotine, you get a better chance of not getting COVID. And then you have, people in sub-Saharan or like jungle conditions that were taking Q-certain, zinc, and vitamin D to fight off malaria and other viral diseases, and they barely got COVID because of that regimen. That's another. Just those vitamins helped you recover from COVID like 50% quicker. And if you're taking it as a preventative measure, I don't know what the exact data was, but you had a better chance of never even getting COVID. And if you did, you would have been asymptomatic. There was just so many things that they fucking lied about. And I'm not even getting into the vaccine itself and what really went on, or like you said, it was definitely from China. It's just
when he fucking said that, dude, I'll never forget that. Why do you say it's from
a mass
China?
Murderer.
Because it's from China. Fucking amazing, dude. Amazing.
And you wonder why we don't have faith in the government. Why ain't Fauci fucking arrested by now?
Yeah, well,
like he's a mass murderer, dude.
He in charge, dude.
Yep, during the 80s with the AIDS epidemic, he murdered a lot of fucking gay people with the AZT. I had to take AZT one time. Fucking took it for a day, and I'm glad I fucking threw it out. I got some dude's blood all over me. Never, knock on wood, made it this far.
That first credit card purchase went downhill completely between everything.
That resulted in a month of Cipro.
Before we take a commercial break and get into the New Jersey indictment, the fucking comments, Nick. I commend you for speaking your mind and being a proud American, because people love to fucking talk shit. And
dude, I don't even read them, dude. They're such miserable fucking people. They're just like I said. If you're gonna be a Republican, on the right, conservative, middle, have a dialogue. Instead, it's just straight up fucking nasty insults because they don't have anything else. They can't fucking think for themselves. There's one dude in the comments asking me about why did Trump fire the chaplain? Do you also want me to tell you why Trump was scratching his fucking nuts at 3 a.m.? Like, the fuck, dude? I'm not here to defend the guy. I'm talking about what I'm talking about. I don't know about that.
Yeah, the one person said it looked like a fucking Party City shit out of 4th of July tablecloth. Again, from an anonymous account with no fucking.
And they're pussies, dude. Come and talk to me. Come and talk to me. I'll debate you.
Your
not
best
the smartest
friend,
guy.
Your best friend, the Marine Communist, was the first one to comment. First one.
That dude rides my dick, among other people. I don't give a fuck about that dude. Or anyone else who wants to sit in the comments and constantly slander me.
Slander. Woo. Fucking get him, Nick. There's lawsuit material there, man.
I don't give a fuck, dude. I just keep going.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. We'll obviously probably touch on Iran a little bit more throughout the next hour, but we're gonna focus a little bit on a shooting that just happened, or the verdict or indictment. Sorry, just came out today. So we will be right back after this quick commercial.
Over a century ago in 1910, the Flexner Report, funded by John D. Rockefeller and the Carnegie Foundation, re-engineered medical education from a holistic, whole-body approach, which appropriately treated the body as an interconnected system, to a compartmentalized approach under the guise of specialized medicine. They shut down or consolidated medical schools, marginalized naturopathic, homeopathic, and chiropractic medicine, replacing them with symptom management and synthetic drugs. Allopathy is a marketing strategy rooted in fear and manipulated science. This philosophy carried into veterinary medicine, resulting in over-vaccination, unnecessary surgeries, and manufactured food, just like they did for people. They call it care, but it's predatory and based in profitability. The truth? Toxicity, compromised immunity, and chronic inflammation. They're not fate. They're engineered. And so is your power to undo them. We built 3 targeted formulas to return the body to homeostasis, for pets and people, to detox, defend, and restore. We are the correction to decades of corruption. We are vengeance.
Welcome back, everybody. And this show is also brought to you by Flatline Fiber Company. Go to flatlinefiberco.com. Use promo code ANTIHERO15. Save 15% on rifle slings, IFAKs, dump pouches, and baseline bags. Since their founding in 2019, they strive to create the highest quality gear with real-world functionality, trusted by SWAT teams, high-level military units, police agencies, and civilian shooters across the globe. They make gear you can trust, made in America with a lifetime warranty. Go to flatlinefiberco.com. Use promo code ANTIHERO15 and save 15%. Not our Patreon. Not that. Not that. Crave creatine gummies.
Upgraded Crave.
Yeah. Crave's so happy with the 99% in us. They upgraded their package, which we've talked about multiple times. Great people. They actually put creatine in their gummies. We've seen it. We saw how they do it, and the gummies taste really good. But the gummies taste like you're going to eat it and go, this is good, but I can tell there's creatine in it. Much like other companies we found out while we saw Crave's experiment online that just tastes like fruit snacks for a reason, because there's no creatine in them. But we all need creatine for a magnitude of reasons. It improves mood and brain function, builds up to 30% lead muscle, and boosts strength up to 30%. When you take creatine, you give your body more power. That means you can lift more, recover faster, stay sharp all day with just 3 gummies a day. And if you don't love the flavor or feel the difference, they'll refund you with a full money back guarantee. So go to trycrave.com and use promo code ANTIHERO15 and save 15%. And of course, Goon Tape.
Goon Tape.
You want to do Goon Tape?
If you're a tactical athlete looking for an edge, try some moisture wickering raid tape. It's made from premium homegrown cotton and synthetic fibers to keep you on target in the fight, even when the work gets wet. Plus, it's made right here in America. They are loving the 99% as well. So go to goontape.com, use code ANTIHERO for 15% off. If you're not seeing the code work, just shoot them an email and they will refund you guys. They want to keep it going. You guys are doing great with them. So go to goontape.com and get your raid tape.
Yeah, when we tell you guys that the sponsors, you guys like break their systems, Goon Tape, all of a sudden the promo code stopped working and they're trying to figure it out. So I've never seen it. They've never seen it. Mike's never seen it. So, but please continue to support them. They will send you 15% off a roll of tape, which is, I guess, like a couple bucks, maybe $1 something. And I told them the 99% does not care about saving $1.27. They care about supporting us, and they care about supporting companies that support us. So as long as those sales keep coming in, I think everybody will be happy. So, all right.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm not downplaying COVID either. I know it's a real disease. People got injured and got hurt, and people died. So in no ways am I downplaying that at all. And one other thing I want to say, you guys are doing a live show 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. I don't know if people realize how difficult that is, and it's a testament to what you guys build here because it's good, and it shows people the show's growing. People like it, and it's not an easy feat. So kudos to you guys. Good work.
Thanks, man.
Very nice of you.
You want to take it away, Mike?
Yeah, we're going to go into the shooting. So I'm going to go. I have the article first. We'll go with that. Boom. This is out of Woodbridge. Police officer charged for fatal May 2025 shooting. A state grand jury. This is the same area as Sal up in New Jersey. A state grand jury indicted a Woodbridge police sergeant this week over a fatal shooting of a whatever that city is resident last May, according to the new Attorney General Jen Davenport. The grand jury charged Woodbridge Police Sergeant Marco Bruno with first-degree manslaughter over the slaying, keywords, of Amir Allen, 35, during a confrontation with local authorities following reports of an assault with a baseball bat. Allen led officers to a closed convenience store while refusing orders to drop the bat. Bruno arrived and aided his own order. So I'm going to let it stop right there. And, we're very transparent. There's good ones. There's bad ones. We judge these things. Monday morning quarterback. We do all those things. I'm going to let the body cam play, and then we will go from there. And I'll let you guys decide. There's a long version, which is like 3 minutes. It leads up to everything. I'm going to play the typical media. If you want to watch the whole thing, we can make it available. But I'm going to play the typical media. He gets this call. His guys are already on scene. There's a guy with a bat. This is the sergeant's body cam of how he handles the call as soon as he gets out of the car.
Drop the fucking bat now. Drop the fucking bat. Drop the fucking bat now. Drop the fucking bat now. Drop the fucking bat. Drop the fucking bat. Drop the fucking bat.
There you have it.
We'll play it back.
We'll play it back one more time for everybody at home. So if you watch the whole body cam, you can see multiple officers on scene already engaged in conversation. He gets out of his car, sprints up, cuts through the sea, and this is what you see one more time.
Drop the fucking bat now. Drop the fucking bat. Drop the fucking bat now. Drop the fucking bat now. Drop the fucking bat. Drop the fucking bat. Drop the fucking bat.
So I got the expert with me. For those who don't know, I have JoJo, the expert. I think she's very well versed in this. not determined to be an expert, but is very down the middle when these things happen. So you want to take it away? What you see? We'll let the chat kind of engage and let G Money and Tyler interject. But what do you see?
I prefer to hear what
Okay.
you guys
say first. Tyler, give your distraction version.
God, man, I saw it this morning. Everybody was sending it to me. I thought it was going to be a let's protect this guy because we just saw an indictment that was a verdict that came out for manslaughter that was wrong. But looking at this, I didn't take any of the account that there was already people establishing some sort of dialogue. He wasn't charging. The distance rule, I think, is a little bit different with an edge blade weapon rather than a baseball bat. The 21 feet thing, everybody says so. And he did sprint up there. And I mean, outside of it looking bad, the fuck you or the drop the fucking bat. And then what you didn't see was the post. Like there was you can't use this against the cop, but the cop had no empathy for he just killed the dude. He was like, get on your stomach now. Get on your fucking stomach. So at the end of the day, it looks at face value, it looks like a bad shoot.
Nick, G Money.
I don't care about the get on your fucking stomach or drop the fucking bat. That's fine. But you can see he pushes his way through the fucking crowd of cops. First off, I would have been pissed if I'm the first guy on the scene handling that, and that dude just comes in and takes my job over. It's my job. I'm the one handling it. You're there to back me up. I'm the one that either established a rapport or whatever with this guy. He's got a baseball bat. You're about 10 feet away. He's not going to hurt anybody. There's fucking 15 of you. I mean, excuse my language, but what a fucking pussy. You could have took that dude down without killing him. I don't like. Go ahead.
Do you know if anything was if taser was utilized at all or anything like that?
I don't have any of that.
I watched the video, a good minute of it. I didn't see anyone with a taser.
And like I said, all I got sent was his body cam in full. So we have that clip if you want to go back much later. My version, there was the one that just went down up north that Dom's been helping the officer. The guy had a machete. Walked towards him. He shoots him. He gets fired. I agree with you. Edge weapon, totally different circumstances. Could a bat be deadly? Of course it can kill you. But again, you can't really throw a bat and kill anybody unless you really throw it really hard and really fast and really accurate. You have time. There's multiple officers.
Okay,
No,
accuracy.
nobody deserves to get hit with a bat. But in this one, I would also agree. Like it seemed when I hate to say this, and we get accused of this, it seemed like that guy wanted to kill somebody. Like if I watched that completely down the middle and unbiased, because I'm pro cop all the way, it seemed like, get out of my fucking way, I'm getting one tonight. That's what it looked like, and I would hate to be that guy. So
There was no, I mean,
Justin says someone said I have non-lethal cover, which I believe I heard that too.
Yes,
like a couple seconds before he shot. And
I
killed
heard
the guy.
somebody say. I thought he said I have lethal cover.
No, he did. He said had lethal cover, which lets you know somebody's got a gun on him already. That means if he does anything, that dude's going to smoke him. I don't want to go crazy, but I think this is a time where you might try the taser or something first, and then you have somebody already with the gun on him.
With 15 people or however many we're saying was there. There's a lot of dudes there. Somebody also said I have lethal coverage. You almost have to wait. You almost have to. I would feel so much better about this video if that officer had been standing there, didn't run through, push his way up to the front. If he had been standing there and this body cam showed a guy with a baseball bat start charging, it's a clean shoot all day. It is a clean shoot. We're not backing down, because then you get into the whole, do we want to preserve life and back up while we just sit here and negotiate with a guy? Sure. If we can get more resources here, we're waiting on a beanbag gun. He's 45 seconds out. It'll take him 2 minutes to get this shot off. We can start walking backwards. That the supervisor's call, as long as everybody's okay with it. You can still shoot him too.
He was a supervisor. He was a sergeant. So your turn.
Really?
Yeah.
So I don't want to get into whether it's justified or not justified. I think it's so easy, and I have done it. We all do it. There's such a limited video here, but one of the pieces of information I think is consideration and kind of going over talking points and thinking points, which I think we've kind of gotten away from, because we have an opinion about something and then we get really invested in that opinion, and then we marry it and we stay committed to it even when other information gets presented to us. So one of the other pieces of information is that that dude was already using the bat attacking vehicles that had occupants inside of it. So does that offer any type of context, right? Where his intentions, what his intentions are, his propensity, what he's capable of, he's already exhibited that a little bit. So bringing that into kind of a consideration. The other thing is, I can see what you guys are saying about that dude rushing up there, right? It seems like he's got maybe an ulterior kind of motive or interest. However, I'll kind of bring this as like a side piece. It doesn't matter what your intent is, right? As a cop, it doesn't matter. You could have evil intent all day, as long as your use of force is reasonable and necessary given the circumstances in front of you. It doesn't matter if the intent is evil. Likewise, it doesn't matter if you have good intent. Well, he didn't intend to kill him. He didn't intend to hurt him. You know, maybe it was an accident or it was something else. And good intentions won't make an unreasonable use of force justified. So those things, intent is irrelevant. It doesn't matter if you think, oh, he had an ulterior motive or he was looking to kill someone that day. Those things become irrelevant when you really break down Graham versus Connor and use of force and all those standards and the three-pronged test. So, but if I have, as a sergeant, you can say everything is different. People supervise differently. I come on scene as a sergeant. I'm there kind of overlooking. People have opinions about how involved a sergeant should be in the use of force, right? Where you should be directing your guys of more what to do and make sure that all the pieces and the gears are kind of working appropriately and effectively and with the best outcome. But going back to a bat not being something that is looked at as lethal, and that 21-foot rule is absolutely a myth. That was never a real thing. That started in the 80s, I believe, on a range somewhere in Utah, where a sergeant on the range was trying to kind of illustrate a point, and then it spread like wildfire. There's so many other factors, mitigating factors that come into that. You have the athleticism differences between many people, where people move faster than another person or slower than another person. To apply a universal rule like 21 feet as some standard of safety, like your safety bubble, becomes erroneous. But a bat, we would still say, is a weapon. I agree. If someone has a bat and they're in their garage and you're down the driveway 40 yards from where they're standing and you're behind a car, the lethality of that bat definitely decreases. But you're in public here where there's civilians, there's innocents, there's people that come before not only the suspect, but the cops. So sometimes I think we look at these uses of force and we think that the cop had only their interest in mind, but who else's interest are those cops invested in? And it's those civilians and innocents who potentially were already victimized by this guy. So his ability to move and become mobile is relatively easy. And what we don't know by the video is how close innocents are to this guy. If he decides to go mobile and start running with a bat, what is his threat level to those innocents? So I need to contain this guy because he's already shown a propensity. I need to contain this guy and control this guy sooner rather than later, where I give him the opportunity to think how he's going to overcome the influx of cops coming on scene. He starts to run with a bat and he focuses in on another innocent or a civilian. Now I have a subject running from me. So I've just made my situation a little more complicated. I've allowed it to get a little more complex and complicated. And depending on what the backdrop is the backdrop now safe? But if he starts to run, my backdrop is a home or a car, a schoolhouse, whatever it is, that backdrop changes as the subject starts to move and change. He creates distance. Now he's harder to hit, or he does charge at him, right? So he starts to charge and now he's swinging a bat. And now I'm trying to shoot a dude who's maybe aligned with my partner. Now I got to try to shoot that dude without shooting my partner. So now I've complicated the situation again. So I think sometimes these are just talking points and thinking points. And if I were the defense, I would start to look at that where it's not just protecting ourselves, but I have to contain this. And then you guys all heard the whole I have lethal coverage. I don't know if you picked it up when they said drop the bat, drop the bat. I'm pretty sure Buddy says nope.
He does.
But shows you what, right? Like there's probably not going to be, it's reasonable to assume there's not going to be a compliance there. I don't have to wait till someone charges me or starts swinging a bat at me to use appropriate levels of force with someone that's armed with a deadly weapon, a potential deadly weapon. I don't have to wait for those things to happen.
I think you're right. I think we're all little, even veteran cops are a little conditioned to start thinking this way. Mainly because it's survivability in the job, not like actual surviving, like not dying, but like survivability is like a 25-year career. If you're 6 years in, you're like, man, I got 19 more years and I don't want to go through this. So you start thinking like, maybe I need to get with the program, but clearly that sergeant, maybe he's got a lot of years and experience and he knows he's got guys in there and he's worried in his car as he's getting there. Someone's going to get cracked in the head with a bat because I know our district attorney, I know our chain of command, I know these new guys aren't going to take that shot. I'm going to go take that shot. I mean, that's speculation, by the way. That no one's interviewed. For sure. I'm just saying. I'm just trying.
But it's a talking point. And when I first watched the video, and I was like, ugh. My visceral reaction was like, yeah, that doesn't make me feel great. But once again, opening my mind and not having that just almost, like you said, a conditioned response. And if I go, okay, let me try to zoom out instead of having this myopic view, this one-dimensional view. Let me zoom out and look at the broader context of what is the environment look like? What did the past 5 minutes look like? What was he doing to innocents, right? Like all these other contextual cues that I should be considering when I'm trying to determine, like, am I hanging this guy right away? Am I going to crucify him immediately because my visceral reaction is, it doesn't look great, it doesn't make me happy inside.
Could one reasonably think, I mean, context is everything. You had said that he had some kind of previous encounter with citizens where they were essentially assaulted by him.
Well, I believe they were in their cars. Just to be, clarify, I think they were in their cars and he was attacking their cars with a bat.
Yeah, but as a cop, I would still, if I showed up on scene and they were like, that's assault. But
well, if he's in Florida, he's getting shot probably through the fucking car window by a citizen because everybody's got a gun down here. So that justifies the shooting right there. Let me just for context. Let's context what he was charged with. Manslaughter in the state of New Jersey is the actor recklessly caused the death under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to human life. That's basically what they got him for. He recklessly caused the death under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to the human life. So they basically said he
Well,
murdered
do you
him.
think
Not first degree, but first degree manslaughter.
Do you think it's reasonable to think without or with the context we have, which is not much, that maybe law enforcement could have said, I've had enough training in this to know this guy might not be in a right state of mind? I think that's where my mind would go. I mean, I left the job at 9 years, but I would show up. I'm picturing it now in the middle of Orange Blossom Trail, dude fucking with a baseball bat. I'm probably not knowing I'm not going to shoot him. If he's not showing any agitation, I'm just going to stall it until we block off every fucking intersection, because we don't care. We will block everything off for hours while we negotiate with a guy with a baseball bat until someone beanbags him in the nutsack and we can take him into custody. Like that, to me,
So,
I don't.
yeah,
I just.
I think that's a possibility for sure. And again, it comes back to context, which is why his testimony is so crucial. And it sucks that we put each other through the ringer before we've even heard from the person that pulled the trigger or can, use the deadly force.
The crappy thing is we won't. We'll hear from maybe the union, but we're never going to hear from him until his day of court.
And that's crucial, because one of the things in uses of force is officer factor, right? My training, my ability, my perception, all of those things. It's not, it comes from a reasonable person standard, but you can't ignore that still one of the elements in use of force is the officer factor. And I think that we tend to just forget that just because it's not the way we would have done it, we're all guilty of this. I wouldn't have done that. Nobody gives a shit, right? Because you weren't in that position. So just because you would have gone hands-on with someone with a baseball bat doesn't mean that's the standard. Doesn't mean that's what's required for someone to do. Like, good for you. I mean, Dominic Izzo de-armed somebody with a knife, right? Great. That's great that he was. It doesn't mean that that's the standard now. Doesn't mean that's the standard now to handle people with knives. That's not the standard. It's great if you can accomplish it. That's where training comes in, but it doesn't create this universal standard across the board where everyone is now committed to doing something because it's the way you would have done it, or it's a plausible reality. Yes, surrounding that dude, containing all of those things are legitimate, but with that you need time. And again, taking into account that he's already shown a propensity of violence because he's already attacked people or their cars where they were inside of them, same thing. You already have a propensity. So I don't know that time is really on your side, because let's say they do. That's, we're, working up, a containment, a perimeter.
Well, we're trying to work on this. If you got somebody with lethal coverage, isn't time on your side?
They had all the time in the world.
I think where I will agree with her, though, is that rapid involvement of the case, or evolving of it, where he starts running. Now, what if Sarge has to aim towards the other cops to do it? We watched that one video from years ago where the guy walks around with a knife for like fucking 40 minutes and they back up like 9 miles. They could have killed him.
The guy passes the fire truck.
Yeah, he goes past the fire truck. He's in the he's in the fucking plaza. So though it didn't start to escalate to that point, I guess do we have to wait for it? Because again, if there's civilians behind him, he takes off running and he goes over and cracks some fucking 2-year-old in the stroller across the head. We're all gonna be like, this fucking dude should have killed him right away.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
Let me just point out that lethal coverage is not what gives you time. Containment does, right? So that's why, like, if we have houses, someone's in a house, we have what we say, we have all day to work this out. Once that person breaks that containment, whatever it is, then you have a problem, right? So if somebody's within their house and you have a perimeter outside the house, that person breaks free from the house and now they're coming at officers or breaking that perimeter and they have something in their hand now that they're a threat to neighbors or innocents around them. Your time advantage severely disappears, right? You don't have time anymore. Now it's kind of in the moment making decisions like going, we don't have time. This person's about to hurt somebody.
As a supervisor, if you had a situation like this, and you had the ability to contain in the open, I know the biggest thing is backdrop, right? A house is contained. The backdrop issue is not that big. You have an open intersection, parking lot, whatever this was. Yeah, you have the ability. You have everybody coming. You can start setting up a perimeter. But at the end of the day, if he takes off running, he's not contained, because then you can't shoot him.
Right. And think about a perimeter. What shape is a perimeter usually in?
The square.
Right. But then who is always in your backdrop?
Somebody else.
Each other.
Somebody else. Yeah.
Right. So your perimeter or your containment cell isn't going to be as effective as you think it's going to be if it's out in the open and you're using people as your perimeter. you're always going to be each other's backdrop.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, and it's this open is eye opening to the fact that we see it and go, well, that's bad. And I still don't think it's great, but you had without factoring that stuff in. The other sad thing about his trials, he's never going to take the stand. He's never going to get up and say that. It's going to be a normal trial. It'll be an expert talking for him. But
and that's the crappy part about podcasts is that we want to be the broadcast for stuff like this, but if we were a sports fucking broadcast, we could be like, hey, we're interviewing the wide receiver. What happened with that catch? How did you miss it? How was that penalty not thrown? How did the ref not? They could sit there and talk about it all day long. When something happens like this to one of our own that we want to cover, you're never going to hear them talk about it. It'll be years, and no cops can come on, no active first responders, nobody can come on and address issues. I mean, they can, but they choose not to. And so that's what makes it harder for us is, this is life and death. We like to make light of all the things we talk about and have fart jokes and stuff. But at the end of the day, we cover things that this guy might not have his freedom for the rest of his life.
Yeah. And let's touch on one other thing. And I hate to compare it, but let's talk Sal Odradi versus this one. Same demographic, same location, and they're charged the same. And we all knee-jerked went, this one's not good, right? Well, our first words, everybody's mouth was, this is bad. Then you have Sal's, which is, to me, clear-cut good. And now you have that much disparity in similar incidents right in the same area where one guy's got a gun and points it at somebody, he shoots him, and he's arrested. And now you have a guy with a bat standing still, he shoots him, he's arrested. The state of New Jersey is very fucked up as well of how they're handling, it seems, all of these. You're just indicting. It seems like every time a cop shoots somebody, they're getting indicted. And now it's the cop's responsibility to sit indicted for 3 years, go through all these hearings and prove his innocence, which is not what the system was created to do. So that's another side of it I see that causes a huge issue as well. Like same place, same location, very different incidents, but they're categorized the same as like the cop murdered somebody. And that's where I see it getting a little scary. It's basically cops.
Oh, the verbiage you pointed out. Slain. That's a very, very choice word to use. Nick, what's your thoughts on everything?
I couldn't be more on the other side. I think it was just a terrible shoot. You had a lot of what ifs, but that wasn't what was going on. The guy was standing still. There was 15 cops around. The containment wouldn't have been that difficult. There's many different avenues you could have went. I've been in that situation, so I know what I would have done and what I have done. That wouldn't be it. And especially from what I understand, he might have been there for a while, went back to his car, then ran back up. I don't know. Video will lie 100% of the time.
I have the video. You want? Let's speed through that video. I have it. Before we got time.
Nick would have taken him hostage.
Yeah.
I would have hit him with my fucking car and maced him and then tackled his ass.
Here is
like 1999.
Wouldn't have been no fucking thing.
I'll speed it up a little bit so we're not here all day, but this is the unredacted video of the whole response. So we'll go body cam on.
This is the sergeant's body cam?
Yeah, this is from in the car if it's going to work.
Okay, so he just pulled up then. Yeah, I mean,
it's
just fucking terrible, dude. He's not even involved in the situation. He just shows up.
Like where we pick it up. Yeah, where we pick it up, I'm just going to get rid of it. Where we pick it up is the 2 minutes before that is him driving. He exits the car, and then you see him where we picks up what we showed. He runs straight from his passenger driver door right through everybody, and then does what he does.
Dude, some of the physically pushes somebody out of the way.
With his gun out. He already had his gun out.
To be fair, that's what the guy at the machete had to do also when those two people were just standing there spectating instead of being cops.
Yeah, I think there were three.
I think the radio traffic of one of the officers came over the radio and was communicating that he was attacking vehicles that had occupants in them. So like you're hearing that and you're receiving that information, you understand the gravity of the situation, the magnitude of it, and you might end up with severely hurt or injured people unless action's taken. Right? As cops, we know that. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to ask, do you think that it could also be that maybe that cop was having a lot of preconceived, like, I'm going to end this now?
I worked with cops that I knew were going to get into shootings. There's a mentality of some cops that will look for it, that want it, that I already knew at one point in their career they will get into a shooting because That's the predisposition. That's what they think. The mental reps people do in their mind. Yeah, and just some cops, you just already know. I'm sure you've worked with some that you're like, this dude will end up shooting somebody eventually.
And
just being on jobs with people.
The sentencing parameters for this, just think about this: 10 to 30 years is minimum 10 to 30 years.
Yeah, I know you said intent doesn't matter, but now when it comes to filing charges, it's all about the intent.
Well, in this case, it doesn't matter. It's basically he caused the death. They're not going to.
The intent matters when charging, whether it's murder 1 or murder 3.
Obviously, it's not
they can also
murder.
Well, they can make an argument that it was, that he had no intention of trying to talk that guy down, no intention of de-escalating. He showed up, pushed people out of the way, and just shot the fucking guy and killed him. His intent from the beginning was to kill that man.
When I talk about, and like I said, there's not enough for me to say this is justified or not justified. It's not. My only objective here is just talking points and thinking points that sometimes we might overlook. That's all. But when I say intent doesn't matter, that's not a Joanna opinion. That is like interwoven in the fabrics of Graham versus Connor. That's not a me opinion. That's one of the mechanics that Graham versus Connor is designed around, is that intent is irrelevant as to whether or not either it's justified or it's not. And if it's justified, evil intent won't make a justified use of force unconstitutional. Likewise, good intent won't make a unjustified use of force constitutional.
He had intent to kill that guy. That doesn't mean anything.
Not if it was justified.
Right. So that's what I'm
it's
saying.
Not justified.
Well, we haven't decided. I understand the core of Nick. I understand.
And G Money's night wagon is unjustified. So
now the intent matters.
Let's not forget how easy it is to be indicted. Right? It is extremely easy to be indicted, and I think a lot of people are under this misconception that if you're indicted, you're like, oh well, you must be guilty of whatever they said because you got into. It's such a big word and it has such weight to it, and it's really not hard to be indicted, and it doesn't prove anything necessarily pre-trial. But I think people allow it.
Maybe I'll do a breakdown because I have an expert, not my diagnosis of an expert, and I actually have all the body cam. And
why don't you? I'm assuming that's going to be a hot topic tonight, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good one for sure. Maybe I'll bring her on there too as well. I have all of it.
Joanna should be the thumbnail of Hot Topic tonight.
Yeah, I have all the redacted body cam. I have the 911 calls. I have the EMS rate. I have everything sent to me as far as the entire case. Well, do you see those files not load? I can load it, but I'm not going to sit here. I haven't looked at it either. Some of them may be 40-minute body cameras to get to that one spot. Like the sergeant's body cam that I tried to load is like not 8 minutes, and it's like 5 minutes of him driving.
I think they tried tasing him right after he hit a car. I think I heard a taser go off. Or
tune into Hot Topic tonight, and I will break it down all the way. So I'll get with Dominic, and I'll get the body cam pulled up from each one, and we'll kind of go more in depth. But this is what I wanted for this show. This is like, let's show the reaction, and then we'll break it down. Let me see what this says. Hold on one second.
Does not look good, but also like Joanna said, it's and indicted. I don't even believe in that system anymore. I believe that indictments are now used to. They know the weight of that. We're going to indict this cop.
Oh, you're going in front of a grand jury where there's no defense at all. It's a prosecutor, totally fucking one side.
You don't even have to be there. You don't even have to know what's going on.
No, you won't know. You're not going to know what's going on.
So New Jersey also has another thing called, I'm getting this real time, called ICAT, Integrating Communications Assessment and Tactics. And a law enforcement officer by the Police Executive Research Forum teaches officers to de-escalate critical incidents, especially those involving people in crisis, by integrating critical thinking, crisis intervention, communication, and tactics. So that is mandatory that any person in crisis, even with a bat in New Jersey, they have to put those factors into their brain that they're responsible to try to de-escalate first. I don't know that I agree with that, but that is what New Jersey has determined, that these people are supposed to go, oh man, he's in crisis. I have to try to do X, Y, Z before I go to Z. So that is not that is not good for officers to have all that on their plate and then make a split-second decision on a guy with a bat or a knife or a gun or any other scenario.
It doesn't.
Flee New Jersey. Flee New Jersey.
It doesn't look good, the fact that they were able to roll him over and detain him within a matter of 2.5 seconds. I don't think that looks good. That shows how many. Usually in a shooting, usually in a shooting, there's 20, 30 seconds. I'm just guessing. I don't know. But where We've determined it's safe. The threat is neutralized. Let's move up. Let's move up tactically and render aid to this person. They were there within 2 seconds, flipping him over on his stomach, which kind of gives the impression. It gives an impression. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but I'll play that part. But it just kind of gives the impression that it wasn't that much of a threat. He's down. These guys are in here already rolling him over. It's just I've never seen anything like that, so it makes it a little weird.
He's knee on the back neck, dead.
Yeah, I just took 6 shots in under the 9 minutes.
6. That's a pretty good number too. That's a good number from right there. Why didn't he shoot him in the leg?
He should have just shot the bat out of his hand. That's what I would have done.
Shot the bat out of his hand.
Yeah,
so.
and I get that. That's a good angle because we're men, we're alpha men. We always think kill the bad guy, and we don't think about all those other factors. And then, like I said, there's a whole statute these poor dudes have to worry about up there and hold directive where they have to consider de-escalation even in a weapon situation with a guy who's in crisis. So the easy term here is get the fuck out of New Jersey. Like,
yeah,
because I'm telling you right now, if this was Florida, I'm telling you we wouldn't be talking about this.
They would shot him.
Would. Yeah.
The
Well, I think they would.
And you made a great point. If a fucking civilian can shoot somebody, it's not even, it's taking the police part out of it. You felt in fear for your life. So in Florida, if I can shoot somebody hitting my car with a baseball bat, if I could, not saying I would, not saying I can, but if that's the mindset, then the police can also defend themselves.
Well, the difference is he was attacking at that point, and when the cops showed up, he was standing still.
Did he show propensity?
No.
Well,
not at that moment.
By attacking a car.
Earlier, yeah.
Let's consider. I'm telling you to drop the weapon that you just did this with, and you say nope.
Well, I'm a criminal.
Are we gonna have tea and crumpets with your bat?
Oh,
like,
maybe
the intent,
start a dialogue with him. Like,
retaining
what's
your
going on? Why are you
They
doing
did.
this? Can we
then
talk?
He shot him.
Yeah, that dude didn't.
It was a very quick conversation.
And the sergeant wouldn't have done that.
No, okay.
Very effective too. It definitely stopped the threat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have all
somebody
that.
asked if there's going to be riots, but I don't know if you guys noticed something about this suspect. There will be no riots.
Well, his name was interesting name. Name was no, it was Amir.
The only guy in the chat that's British said tea and crumpets are great with jam and double cream.
What if he didn't understand English? Yeah, no tea for you.
Somebody said
no.
You know what? I changed my stance.
Uh-oh.
Good shoot. He should have just shot him as soon as he got out of the car. Fuck that guy.
Based on his name?
Yep.
Okay.
I changed my fucking entire stance. He's a terrorist. This is a fucking terrorist attack. Good shoot.
Change my stance.
Oh no.
Fucking savage.
That didn't take long.
He took him right to Allah. Fuck him. Good job. Let's get him an award. Start a GoFundMe and get this over with.
But can you like does that not, to me it's like the whole racist thing we were talking about earlier where it's watered down. When you start charging every cop with murder, like Sal and then this guy, like these are so polar opposite but charged with the similar things. So it's like you just going to start indicting every cop that shoots somebody, every single one?
Yeah.
That you know every single one? Is that what we're doing now in New Jersey? Just everybody goes to jail?
And the sad thing is, look how we're breaking this down. Look how we're all breaking this down to understand an indictment. It should be, I came up, a guy had a lethal weapon. I told him to drop it. He said no. He already showed a propensity. I shot and killed him.
No, so
you should be back to work in 4 days.
In 2002, I got a call with to see man with a gun. I pull up, all the neighbors are out, and this black guy's standing in the fucking grassy area, with a building behind him. There's no one behind him, and everyone's saying he's got a gun. He's going to kill himself, or he's going to shoot a cop. So it's me and him. I got my gun out on him. I'm trying to determine whether or not he's got a gun in his fucking pocket, and he's telling me he's got a gun, and I'm talking to him, and I had time, so waited. He pulled the fucking hand out. I didn't shoot. I'm glad I didn't. But the point I'm getting at, I was worried about me being white and him being black. If he didn't have a gun, what was going to happen to me? And that was in 2002.
Yeah.
So it was like that back then.
What is that?
Is that him?
Yes.
It's like
Fucking
Super
guilty.
Mario
Good shooting.
mixed with my gardener.
Oh boy. I
He
should
was
have showed that
ISIS.
to Nick. I should have showed that to Nick first, and then we.
Yeah, if I knew his name was fucking Amir, I knew this was a terrorist attack. He's one of his activated cells. I guess he didn't get the fucking.
I think the bomb was
if it was
laced with
today,
C4.
I guess he didn't get the fucking call that the ceasefire was going on.
Ceasefire, Amir.
He did 6 shots. 6 shots later, he did.
So
camera. What
just
camera?
what you know, 23, 24 years ago, that was on my mind. So God knows what it's like now.
I hate to say it, but when my IA was 3 years ago, when my buddy called me, he's like, "Hey, what the dude you arrested? Like, what color was he?" I was like, "He's white." He's like, "Oh, you're fine then." Well, it wasn't, but that still goes through people's heads, man. Like the Miami shooting last week, like that definitely gets brought up. I'm surprised there's not. This was a year ago. He just got indicted. This shooting was a year ago. I never heard about it. I think the bat kind of throws a curve to me.
It changes.
You're going to have people go. You're going to have people go both directions where it's not so. It's 100% this way. You're going to argue to the end of time about who was right. Can you shoot him? And there's no clear cut by any demographic. There's no clear cut yes or no on this one. I don't think. Because the old OG guys are going to say, "Oh, don't bring a bat to a gunfight," that kind of stuff. And then, "Oh, he was just an misunderstood man having a crisis. He happened to have a bat. Should have been nicer to him." It's going to go both ways. So you're never going to get a solid.
They want to know JoJo's take on what he explained it more in the comments. So JoJo, you respond. You're not a sergeant. You're just a road deputy or one of your deputies. Responds, and I'm a business owner, and I'm like, dude, I fucking I podcast, right? And you're like, okay, and I'm like, yeah, dude. And one of the guys that I pay sometimes every month, I pay him. Well, I allow him to take a camera home for like months, and we fired him when he was home with that camera, and he said he was going to bring the camera back, and he never brought it back. Crime or civil?
We need way more information than that, right?
Yeah, you're there. I'm upset. I want my fucking camera back.
Is there something that shows what agreement existed about the camera being given to him? Was it only on the understanding that he was to have the camera because he was doing podcasts and couldn't keep it after? Where's any kind of communication proving that he said he was going to bring it back? I'm going to interview him. What's his perspective? So depending on what's said and what's agreed upon, he says, yeah, I was going to give it back, but I didn't have time. Right. So then I'm probably documenting that, right? Giving some maybe benefit of the doubt, because I'm not a gung-ho, everybody goes to jail type of person. That still doesn't, the camera still doesn't get returned after some documentation, and now the police are involved, and now it's been told to us that they're going to return it. Maybe file for a warrant, but potentially civil, depending on what information is collected and what understanding there was about the camera.
It was implied that, if it's only I wasn't giving it to him because I'm a cool guy. I was giving him to him because he was, it was implied, but there's nothing in writing, no text, no email saying that this camera is being leased to you or being able to use professionally upon any termination of employment or voluntary withdrawal from employment. You are to return the camera. There's nothing like that.
So I think it depends on what the interview with him ends up being, right? What does he admit to? That was the understanding or expectation with the camera, or if he says, "Nah, I thought this was mine."
Well, can I show you something else, officer? So my coworker, my co-owner, my co-host, Mike, put out this big sticker pile. We don't want to press charges for this, but we're letting you know the type of guy that you're dealing with. 150 stickers. My partner Mike came in and said, "Hey, these are up for grabs if anybody wants any." This guy that has my camera went and took all the stickers and then took all of the chips next to the stickers and took them home. And he's going to sit here and tell you that he had no intent. He thought. And then you talk to Jimmy. Oh, sorry. You talk to him and he sits there and tells you over the phone, I had no idea. I plan on it. I'm in between homes right now. I once I locate the camera, I'm going to I'm going to. I have no intention of. I just don't know where the camera is because I'm in between homes.
You just defended him for him. Yeah, that's fine. It's still civil. The only time I can make it criminal in my mind would be when you can prove you wanted it back. He acknowledged, you have proof that he acknowledged he has to give it back. Then he goes a certain amount of time and doesn't.
You know what that report would have looked like if I answered that call?
None. Zero.
I told you, I would have told you, go to civil court, and the report would have read, info requested, same given. Done. Drop my numbers, hold me off the headquarters.
I don't, and also I would tell you, I would have told you when you started telling me about the stickers and the chips, I said, sir, that's irrelevant to the actual camera. It didn't happen. It's not, doesn't, his character doesn't come into that specific incident.
Yeah, you
Well,
said
you
the
talk about
stickers
potato
are up
chip?
for grabs.
Yeah, potato chips, I don't know, man. Tyler was bent up about those, man. And then I brought a whole nother box of the same brand. He hasn't eaten one bag yet. So I think
I didn't want that bread. I wanted the barbecue.
I bought barbecue back. You still haven't eaten them. I think the C4 is the best case, but we let that one go. Somebody in the chat said
that wasn't us. We weren't the victims. You would have to prove that we were the victim because they were actually.
We were. It was given to us. It was given to us.
Oh, there's a lot of things involved. My argument that day was like, I'm a road guy. I've got 6 calls on the board. I'm like, this is civil. Like, I'm sorry.
We have this much confusion over chips and stickers, but we're gonna just tell somebody that shot somebody, like, nope, it's definitely clear.
Yeah, we have no idea, man.
You guys can't figure out stickers and chips.
I would have sent them off floating. I always say, oh my gosh, are you serious? Because I'm a big advocate on somebody on their worst day, they want a soundboard. And then at the end of the call, I'm gonna go, I am gonna document this for you because this is
so do I gotta
wrong.
sign?
If you look at somebody and you say you were done wrong, they go, I know. And then you go, do you want to press criminal charges? And they go, well, no.
I don't want to go to court. Like, I got to go to court.
I don't want to ruin their life. What they didn't say is, I just wanted to fucking bitch to somebody. I want someone to hear me. That's 89% of our calls.
Yeah.
So you're going to send me a document to sign for the cameras you're sending me?
It's online now. Nick, we want our cameras back at some point. We just don't know when.
As long as you send me
New Jersey,
shipping and handling, I will send you
New
the
Jersey,
back.
if you come at me with the camera, I'm going to shoot you where you stand.
No, you won't. If I just stand there with the camera, you're going to shoot me.
Serious question. Kind of using this baseball bat scenario, but we're going to create a new scenario. Okay. You get a call saying, I just got threatened by someone who says they were going to throw a shooting star at me.
Is he an Arab?
And you get there and they're Asian. They're Chinese.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. You're justified.
They showed a propensity. They already threatened to throw a shooting. What is it called? Is it a shooting star? Throwing star.
Throwing star.
Throwing star. And then you get there and they turn around and they look at you and they're Asian. Oh, man.
Yeah, if he's got it in his hand, yeah, absolutely justifiable shooting.
No, not even in his hand. He just looks like somebody that would throw a ninja star.
No.
It's been 3 different things. I'm going to need you to identify.
Rapidly evolving situation.
Sarge, he's Asian.
An intense, rapidly evolving, fictitious story that we can't keep up with. That's what we have here, folks. Justin pointed out something earlier. I want to definitely, like, he makes it clear. Like, he says, like, you guys understand, like, how difficult this job is. Like, right there. That is an understatement because there are hundreds of calls going on right now with that same scenario. Like, oh, this guy, he did that. And you're like, oh my God, lady, like, there's nothing I can do. Like, what do you want me to do? And if you say that and have that mindset, you're going to get in trouble. But you can't just go, hey, dummy, this isn't a crime. Like, sorry, you have to, like, take the report, put the time. Nick doesn't, but the rest of us do.
Meanwhile, this is it. You're the sergeant on the phone. Your radio's going off. You're listening for it. You're on the road. You're listening, beep, beep, beep. You know, all these fucking tone out calls. And you're trying to fucking have this conversation where some places you work, it's almost like you can't not take the call. It's almost like, what are you going to do? Not take a report all 3 days? Like, this is the one report call you got. And you work a very slow zone. As a supervisor, I really don't want to hear a lot of pushback about how it's different. Like I said, if you got 6 calls holding in your zone, you've already taken 4 reports. There's 3 hot calls going on. It's a little different, I think, when you find out your deputy or your cop not even blew off, made the decision. It's a little bit more understandable. You could always go back and go, you're going to have to eat crow. Start tucking that tail, sweetheart. go over there and take that report. It's not a laziness thing.
Yeah, and the job being difficult somehow created a massive impression, because there is an absolute deficit of cops that just blow off, slough off, make a career out of figuring out how to make every call a civil or a no report needed. And that, if we're going to talk about society having an issue with law enforcement, we feel like, oh, you know, society just hates us and they don't understand. I don't know that we're doing a lot to favor ourselves when we go on calls. And even civilians are like, I feel like this is something, because the statutes, and people say, I know the law. Listen, sometimes they do, because the statutes are just as accessible to them as they are to us. Because I know if I'm not familiar with a law that's obscure and I haven't read in a while and haven't charged someone with in a while, I'm probably going to go back to my computer and look it up on the state statute website, which is exactly what a civilian can do.
We started pandering to society in the last 10 years to the point where everyone calls us for their smallest problems, and law enforcement telling somebody.
I'm not talking about those. I'm not talking about the ones where literally they treat us like QVC customer service because they just want to talk to somebody. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about legitimate, this is a crime or should be investigated like a crime, but we go, I just can't help you. That's
the other one is,
I can't, or someone says, can I have a report? Oh, there's really nothing to write down.
the other thing is when we prejudge the report based on, we know the state's not going to prosecute this, so I'm not taking a report. To that person, that theft of something silly is their life. Like they lost their bike, got stolen off the port. They maybe are broke. They don't have enough money to buy another bike. And we just go,
but depending on the department, I'm the fucking detective, Mike, and I go to you and I'm like, thanks, buddy fucker. Like,
well, we work our own. So like,
you know, there's nothing I can do about it. You didn't want to fucking tell this lady. Now I got to fucking eat it. Well, and now it's on me.
That's schematics of your department. We would handle that ourselves. We would put like a quick attempt to locate out, wait a week. We don't find it. Unfounded. We would work that. Anything under a felony, road patrol, and even some minor things, if you can handle it on road patrol, we would handle it. But to that person to go, and simple, 3 sentences, right? It's garbage. But to that person to hand them that card and go, hey, I know your bike's gone. I'm going to write a report. Here you go. Versus, sorry, lady, nobody's going to prosecute that anywhere. We're never going to find it. Take a hike.
And there is something that cops don't understand the value in documenting instances, situations, alleged crimes that maybe you can't solve right now, but that information could potentially help you solve a crime in the future. And because you documented it well.
Big advocate of that. Big advocate of if a car break, for instance, like attempted car breaks, tons and tons and tons of guys would blow off calls at 6 a.m. Someone said there was somebody outside my they didn't get in, they didn't even get in the car. And I'm like, they'd be like, I know reported that. I'm like, dude, you're gonna get fucking fried, because if I was an auto theft detective or detective in general, and you're telling me that you could have had surveillance fingerprints of something that could have led me to, I don't give a fuck. If those people don't want to press charges, that's fine. But the other 6 fucking houses that are going to come out in 6 hours and go to work, they're the ones that when they do want to press charges, I could have used that. And so I totally agree with being able to.
Even so, I'll just as a couple examples, this is not me tooting horns. I don't toot horns. I have zero ego. And that's why I don't fit into this, Sean. But even just documenting like vehicles, phone numbers, even if it's not like fingerprint stuff like that, it's more obvious. But I'm writing a report and maybe there's a robbery, right? And I go and I identify the suspects through some camera footage. Because I went through extra hoops getting camera footage, now I also have the vehicle that was associated with the robbery. It's the victim's vehicle, but now I'm able to locate the victim. The victim says, I don't want to press charges. Well, what I learned from the victim was also a suspect a month ago in people who ran from me on some bikes, right? So now I have a suspect today is a victim tomorrow is a suspect the next day. And the more information that you can collect about people, the more likely you are to find them in the future, whether they're a victim or a suspect. I took a cell 2 and it became a violation of a domestic violence injunction out of a cell 2.
911 hang up.
A 911 hang up. I'm sorry. A 911 hang up, right? Because just deep diving the phone number, finding vehicles, searching this, searching that, looking into court documents, so there's just that. I don't know that sometimes we're losing the commitment to solving even the most benign, mundane crimes because they won't give you the most attention. They won't give you the most accolades or recognition. You're not going to get a plaque for it. They're like, I don't have time for that. And I get it. Some agencies, I get it. Maybe they don't. But then there's some where you do, you just don't feel like it, or the payoff is not that good, or the recognition is not that good. And I think that we're getting away from that, where sometimes law enforcement, it looks like it's just something I can do to collect a paycheck.
Well, I started getting around the time, was it Verbo and Airbnbs, they're starting to become a fucking problem. And I told somebody, it was a manager for some kind of, it's like, he was like, it's not Airbnb. I'm like, okay, whatever the fucking company it is. He knew everything, and he's showing me a statute. And I'm like, I'm like, yeah, this is civil, bro. Sorry. Because like, they start writing these fucking statutes. I have no fucking power DMS on it. I have no supervisors that know what the fuck's going on. They're leaving me out to dry. They're like, whoa, dude, this is crazy. I've never seen the statute. And I'm like, it's punishable. And they're like, yeah, dude. And I'm like, I'm just going to rely on 3 months ago. I'm going to protect, like, I'm not fucking, this is, you rent a fucking Airbnb in the fucking hood. You're mad that 20 people fucking broke the snow cone machine when they had their fucking big party. This is your fault. This is fucking civil. And then there was some kind of like, they got kicked out early. So then they called their bank and had the card decline the charge. So the Airbnb people couldn't charge them for like the next day or something. And it was this whole fucking shit show. And I'm like, how does this fall on me? All of you guys are pieces of shit. You guys all were bad tenants or trying to get money in the hood. And now I have to fucking unfuck this whole thing. And I remember my first fucking like Verbo car issue. I was like, it took me like 6 hours. I'm like, wait, so what? And all my chain of commands learning about it too. And it's craziness.
The other thing I was going to say is, you notice how we made sure your tasers, you got to check your taser. You got to do all these other things. They don't bother putting out case law and updated information. Like nobody at the agency seems to stay up on that as well. To like, hey, we have this massive issue with like internet crimes or like internet stalking and all these things that we got out of control because of technology.
Yeah.
They never kept up on that. And you got a civilian going, look, bro, this is a statute. And you're like, well, I wish somebody else would tell me, like, why did my agency put that out? Why didn't the state attorney come, if it's that big of a deal, to tell me about this? And you got some dude going, hey, man, did you know this? No, I didn't know this fucking statute. Nobody told me.
So devil's advocate, devil's advocate, nobody is required to tell you. The onus is on you to be.
Here we go.
To take self-initiative.
You're supposed to be like, you're supposed to be like,
I just saw her picture in the hallway, Major JoJo. That's how you get there.
I think there's going to be a new law any day now. I'm going to check the statute today and make sure.
Yes, that is your job, is to stay up with case law. Not like, well, nobody brought it to my doorstep.
I agree. But you pay all these captains and lieutenants and then way up high, they should also be worried about those things, making sure you're going to tell me to de-escalate and I can't say the F word.
You want them to shoot the gun for you too?
No, I don't want to shoot the gun for me, but I want to know when I can and can't shoot the gun so I don't guess at when I get on the scene.
You tell me what the fucking difference is between me and a captain, other than I don't fucking do Excel spreadsheets. A captain or a lieutenant or even a road dog sergeant, they are smarter than me and they've known this job. So when I'm some dumb young cop for the 5 years or under and new case laws coming out, new statutes are coming out, what separates me from them? Because if I have to know fucking everything, I don't need them. We don't need them. We need a chief and a bunch of Indians. That's all we need. So what separates me from those admin people?
Brains.
So a lot of administrative work, right? But here's how I look at it when I talk about why should you train. Number one, your freedom. Number two, your job and your life. You may not care about one or all of those, but to rely on someone else to bring you information that protects your freedom, your job, and your life seems to me, I have a pretty high vested interest in doing that for myself and not being mad that someone else didn't bring it to me because they make more money. And on the trial, on the stand, if I get indicted, guess who has to be there defending myself? It's not going to be my captain that sent me the case law.
I'm talking about blowing off an Airbnb civil case, not shooting somebody.
He's still mad about that case.
Oh,
I'm telling you, it was my ego. I got this guy. I was a hood cop. I showed up, knew what I was going to say. I was very polite. It started not going my way. And when that dude showed me statute I had never seen before, I was mad. Now I have to fucking eat crow and I don't want to fucking do that. It's lunchtime. Y'all know how it is. And so I was wrong.
Vest is off. Chipotle's out.
I'm making light in the sense that I was wrong, but it was that plus a million other things where I was like, maybe this isn't the career for me anymore.
Tell them about our biggest, tell us our biggest verbal fight. Okay?
Not today.
you
Not the one right before the show. Not the one.
No, so here's someone who's been a cop way longer than me. One of our biggest fights was when I brought up the fact that the cops are not required, have no duty to protect.
Steve Lavender. Steve.
Oh,
but
Steve.
They have no duty, and that blew his mind. And so I started being in the training unit. I started bringing that up more, and everyone was just kind of like. And now we have non-criminal barricade, that whole thing where we don't have a duty to go in and save someone from wanting to shoot themselves. But that was my moment early on when I didn't know statutes and case law. And I'm like, this is terrifying.
Did you use air quotes when you said way longer than me?
Possibly. That was one of the things that was terrifying to me because these are the things that govern my decision-making. And how am I not aware of things that are so critical to what should be governing my decision-making? And that is where the onus, and we're not pushing that on cops. We're not pushing that on cops to say, this is yours to know. This onus, this is your responsibility. This is your obligation to know this. So I think that should have been when you have those moments of like, man, this civilian, instead of, getting our feathers rustled, we go, you know what? I think I'm going to start learning more case law and reading more case law. And I encourage guys every time they get in their patrol car, when they're sitting there drinking their coffee, getting their brain warmed up for the day, pull up a case law. Maybe it's one you've already read, maybe it's a new one, and just read a case law, read a policy, reread your use of force policy, your pursuit policy, reread something, study it while you're drinking your coffee. Who's doing that?
Tyler.
I will come. I will drive there
we'll be there
now.
tomorrow. We'll be there tomorrow so we can have this conversation in person.
Fight.
Hey, anytime I'm in an argument with Mike and I know I'm right and he's wrong, can I just Venmo you $20 to tell him he's wrong? So then he'll come on here and say I was wrong.
You don't have to pay her. It's any chance you get to tell me I'm wrong. You know, it's free. She'll pay you actually. Like, hey, you want me to tell Mike? Here's $20. Can I go tell him he's wrong? You don't have to pay.
Well, someone asked if I tell war stories, and I don't tell war stories, but I will argue. If there could be a camera following Mike and I arguing case law, statute, jury instructions, arrests, probable cause, it would.
Josh says you're too smart for all of us. Like you're making everybody in the chat smart, so they're very upset that their brains are working today. So
we can listen to Tyler fart with his mouth for the next 5 minutes, and that'll bring back the IQ.
I feel bad we haven't even heard Nick talk.
He's just a talent, man. He's the talent. What do you got to say about it, Nick?
I don't need to be. Listen, I don't need to be front and center. I'm fine sitting back.
Except unless the episode's about you, then.
You brought me on to fucking talk about my career. And you two wouldn't shut the fuck up. I told one fucking story.
All right, next week
we're going to learn about Nick today and G Money and what made him that, and then you two dickheads talk for 20 minutes.
All right, Nick, let's wrap it up, man. It's been great having you.
Hey, we're working on the G spot with G Money. He nailed. What is it? Nail it every time. Hit it every time. What is it?
I hit it every time. That's correct.
It's a political show. That's the beautiful thing about Nick. It's the G spot with G Money. He hits it every time. But it's going to be a legitimate political show. We were working on that last night. We got the logos done up, working on a time slot and all that good stuff.
Go more towards like a political show, but like what the Man Show used to be.
I still don't know. He sent me a picture of a woman with fake breasts in a bikini and goes, "What about having her on?" And I'm like, "Do you know her?" And he goes, "Yes, biblically." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about, Nick? Like co-host with you?" And I still have no idea what you were referencing with this.
Having a segment where she comes on and
you know her.
Yes, in a bikini or something like that. Or someone like, a woman. I might do like an award for like the
Are you going to be like, are you free every Tuesday at 7:15?
Yep.
To just come by my house and wear a bikini.
She'll get a new bikini each week.
Oh boy,
sex sells.
Yeah, we're gonna
definitely have your views go up.
The Man Show, but a political show. I like it. Yeah. I like it, Nick. I like the ingenuity. I think you're onto something.
Beer, now that I understand politics, titties.
So tomorrow we are
home run.
We're doing the show again, right? They are the film.
Yeah, tomorrow.
But I'm over here. I'm over here. If those are food gurus, I'm over here starving. Just so you guys know, I'm over here. I'm starving over here. That dollar menu is starving. Just so you guys know.
Trying to kill you slowly.
Yeah. So
tomorrow we're gonna do the night shift.
All right, so we'll be live 11 to 1 in the morning.
11 to 1. We're gonna cover I might have someone from Patreon. He actually messaged the group in Patreon and said that he wanted to talk about the Australian soldier that's being hung up to dry.
Yeah.
And he asked to come on the show. So I said, okay, we're going to cover it tomorrow. I'm going to do all the deep dive I can on it. But at the end of the day, it seems like it's a really bad, just as bad as Eddie Gallagher. Somebody doing the Lord's work. We sent him over there to do, and now the government's trying to make a point and turn on him. So we'll cover that tomorrow. Yeah, right.
Yeah, tonight, 7 p.m. Hot topic with me and Dom. I think we're going to hit that shooting that we just discussed. Look at a little more body cam, and then everybody's always welcome tomorrow night to show up at the studio. We order pizza for you. We feed you. So you're ever in the area, please come by.
Yeah, Nick, you should come by tomorrow night.
Yeah, you should come by tomorrow
You
night.
can order pizza to the van. There's that.
Okay.
I'll give
What's
you the address.
Send me the address, man. Look for the guy in fucking sweatpants. Good, gray sweatpants headed to the strip club.
The ball scratcher.
Gray sweatpants and no underwear headed to the strip club.
Dude,
Funny
I
story.
ordered-
We're going to the Marlins game. We're going to the Marlins game, right, in May. And she says, maybe we should stop by this place on the way there. And it's called the Pink Pony Club. No idea what it is. Well, that's
I'd
what it
wear-
was. And I was smart enough ahead of time to say, no, I don't think we should go there. And then
What is it?
she said, it's a fucking strip
It's
club.
a gentleman's
Gentleman's club. But based on the
Gentleman's
name
club.
and the question, I was like, nah, babe, we should probably stay away from that one. And she's like, why? And
I just
was like,
figured there was gonna be a
They
lot of
probably
female
serve
cops
good
there.
burgers.
yeah, they got great steak at the Pink Pony Club.
No,
I figured
Delilah's
that's
Den in
what-
Philly has a good steak.
I bet.
I'll never forget. We were in Dallas, and Reagan picked us up from the airport, and we were driving by a place, and he goes, "What about eating here?" And me and Mike were both out looking the other way, going, "Are you fucking retarded?"
It was. There were
it was
girls in
one of
like
those-
thongs, bikinis at like some
They're
restaurant that's like 10
outside
times
serving
worse.
people
Yeah, they're
food.
outside on like the road, and I'm like, no, we're not going there.
Nick's
Take-
writing it down. What is that?
Take me to In-N-Out. Take me to
Yeah.
In-N-Out
It's called-
burger. That's a different In-N-Out. That's a quicker In-N-Out. You're done and out. But yeah, I was like, no, I'm not definitely not gonna have my
It's a
location
more expensive
show
In and Out.
whatever that
Yeah.
fucking place was.
Swishy pants. That's what Nick's gonna do if he ever hits it big. He's gonna open up a gross, grimy strip club and call it Swishy Pants.
Nah, I'm past that point in my life.
No,
All right.
he would just go there, not own it.
Blow off his mic there. Tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock. We'll be back. And tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hot topic with Cabell and Dominic.
JV team for life.